What's going on, guys? This is Ricky. That is Nate. We're the Flint-Stone Football Podcast. We're back. We took a little bit of a hiatus after running a couple test episodes just to see how everything was going to work out, get everything kind of made with the social media, and get our format down. And now as training camp is upon us, we're ready to get rolling, and I could not be more excited about it.
Same. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So kind of going forward, we're going to get some episodes out pretty consistently through training camp and preseason. And then when the season starts, we're going to get an episode out once a week, kind of describing last week and looking forward to next week, and then some big NFL news in general. So that's going to be how things are going forward. Right now, we're going to talk about training camp, which starts this is recorded on Wednesday, so the players arrive tomorrow for the first day of camp. And I'm just going to break down quickly some things I'm excited about, and Nate, some things you're excited about. Nate, what's one of the things you're looking forward to training camp that's flying a little under the radar? Because we've all heard the general stuff with Mitch Trubisky's development and Chuck Pagano taking over the defense. But what do you think's being underlooked?
The kickers, probably. Psych. I'm actually excited about Duke Shelley. I think he's going to be another late-round gem from Ryan Pace. From minicamp, he was around the ball consistently. He kind of reminds me of Crevon LeBlanc, to where he's not super tall. He's just very physical, has a nose for the ball. I think that Buster Screen's going to lose his job by the end of the year to him.
That's a little bit of a hot take, but all right. Yeah. I would like to see. I mean, if Buster Screen loses his job, that just means that, again, like you said, Ryan Pace hit on a late-round pick again. And, cheap contracts, develop your own guys. That's what you want, so I hope you're right. My biggest thing, what I'm most excited about that's being overlooked and I think is just underrated in general, is Bilal Nichols' development. He's getting a little bit of steam kind of in like the Reddit community and stuff, but overall, I haven't heard a single national analyst talk about Bilal Nichols, but he really started to come into his own midway through the season. The dude's first step is insane. He's just so quick off the snap, and I think as he has a full off season to know what it's like to be a pro now, instead of just like being overwhelmed like rookies are with rookie OTAs and mini camp and learning how to be a pro. He's done it once. He's been in that locker room for a year. Jay Rogers and all those guys are still there to give him their tutelage, and I really think that he's going to be the full-time starter. I don't think you're going to see as much of a rotation with Roy Robertson-Harris in there. I think he's just going to be dominant to the point where he's sucking up a lot of that time, and I think he's going to make a major impact on the defense.
I agree. I loved watching him last year. He's exactly what they wanted Jonathan Bullard to be. Because, in college, Jonathan Bullard was just right off the snap, and then it just hasn't really translated to the NFL like they wanted to. But then Bilal Nichols is. And
I have a man crush.
Yeah, I don't remember which pundit it was that was criticizing Ryan Pace's draft, and he was like, well, he just drafted Bilal Nichols because they both went to Delaware. Like,
right. That's not how that works.
That's not how that works at all. And then now that guy's got to eat a lot of crow.
Yeah, well, I feel like the entire draft class, a lot of Ryan Pace's picks, honestly, Tariq Cohen, Bilal Nichols, a lot of these guys that have been small school players that everyone. And Tariq Cohen's a great one because it's like, oh, you drafted a dude who's like, what, 4'9", 120 pounds, and from a D3 school, obviously he's not. But just in general, just the hate that Ryan Pace has gotten over the late round picks. Hopefully he's earned the respect enough for people to temper their reactions to that. But I doubt it.
I still feel like not, but he should. He's got him every single year, late round pick that's been a hit.
I agree. Yeah.
This year
What's the second thing?
Might be a couple.
Yeah, it's looking like it could be.
I think Steven Denmark's going to be a safety, future strong safety. That's just my prediction. You know what's really weird about Steven Denmark? Which, when I edit this video, I'm going to put a picture of them side by side. But his story is incredibly close to Richard Sherman, how they were both wide receivers turned into a DB.
Okay.
They're both,
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're both tall. They were both late round picks. Mm-hmm. I think Richard Sherman was a 6th round pick, I want to say. And they just didn't have a lot of time in DB, so they got drafted. And with the hope that they would progress to be but they are. And Richard Sherman clearly is one of the best corners of the last 10 or 5 years or so.
Probably this era. He's definitely one of like the top 5 corners of this era for sure.
So even with that, he actually looks like Richard Sherman. Like
really?
I was going over this.
I've seen him, but I haven't seen those two next to each other.
Yeah, so. I was going over it with my friend, and then I went to show him a picture because he's like, I don't know who Steven Denmark is, and this picture, I was like,
oh,
are you related to Richard Sherman? But yeah, I'm gonna put a picture of them too in this so that the watchers can see. It's crazy.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's wild.
But
what's the number 2 thing?
Yeah, my second one would be I want to see how Allen Robinson progresses. I mean, towards the end of the year, we saw that he looked really good. That playoff game, he was outstanding, best player on the field.
Yep.
And
Mitch Trubisky in the 4th.
Allen Robinson. Okay. Mitch Trubisky was still good, but I'm giving it to A-Rob. And he's only 25. It's crazy that he's been in the league as long as he has, and he's only 25.
He's a 6-year vet.
He's still right there.
6-year vet, dude.
Yeah, he's still right there with the core.
It's wild.
Of the younger.
He's a 6-year vet, and he's like a year older than Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane.
I want to see how he does with the full off-season workout. Coming back from the injury, his body's got to be right now. I think he said he was at probably close to 100% as he's ever been.
Yeah, I think with Allen Robinson, at least from just like the eye test, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that have done some YouTube looks and some film study, but I really do think you could clearly see his path of like trusting his knee more, being more aggressive in his cuts, and just his overall production and being more of an explosive player. Probably like week 8 to 10 is where I think he took the turn for kind of being the Allen Robinson that was in Jacksonville, saving Blake Bortles' ass most of the time. So yeah, a full offseason of rapport with Trubisky on top of being physically where he was at. Huge.
And then Matt Nagy even said in their presser indicator that Allen Robinson was one of the best players he's ever coached. And I mean, we know he's coached some really good players.
Yeah, that's high praise. I mean, that Kansas City team that he was on, even right before he got the Bears gig, has a lot of phenomenal players. And just through his career with the Eagles and all the Andy Reid teams, I mean, that's a lot of guys. And Matt Nagy's never, in my experience, come across as a guy who's like says things for the media. Him, like Ryan Pace, has been very straightforward and transparent. So he's not going to go out of his way to say something like that unless it's truly something that he believes.
Yeah, it's not just like normal coach talk. Like some stuff you can be like, that's coach talk, but coach talk, they would just go, yeah, Allen Robinson, he's a heck of a player. I mean, that's Matt Nagy, one of his like heck of a. That's one of his things he says. But he went out of his way to praise him as a player on this team.
And not just, if you listen to the way he said it, he wasn't even just talking about the on the field. A big part of that was just like how he shows up every day and what he's like in the locker room, how he is in the meetings, always having the right answer when his number's called, for example. And that's just being a mature leader of the team.
Leader, that's exactly what it is.
Segue, hashtag good segues. I think someone who takes a huge step as a leader on this defense, but in general has the opportunity to be an all-pro player that we're not talking about. It's Roquan Smith.
Khalil Mack.
Oh, yes. I don't know that dude, but I heard he's pretty good.
I heard he steps over the line when Eddie Jackson goes for pick sixes.
Brutal. Yeah, I don't think he'll ever live that down.
But anyway, you actually said Roquan Smith.
Yes, Roquan Smith. I was listening to Matt Miller on his podcast, and he had described Roquan Smith as being one of the best linebacking prospects he's ever scouted, ever. And that's talking Luke Kuechly, that's talking Patrick Willis. I mean, we're talking some incredible linebackers, and Roquan Smith is remembered as one of the best he's ever scouted. So that's the potential he's working with. And this is a guy who led the team in tackles, and I think he took 14 snaps between the first 2 weeks. We just watched, Kwiatkowski get absolutely fucking melted across the middle for 2 weeks. And then just his speed and athleticism, leading the team in tackles, instinctively getting to the ball. The dude's a sure tackler. I didn't really see him miss many tackles once he got his feet underneath him. And I think that, people still overlook the fact that with that holdout, he missed the entire offseason program. So he was really starting to learn the defense and really getting to how to be a pro in practices week 1 and 2. So for me, Roquan Smith having a full offseason of OTAs and minicamp and starting training camp is going to be massive for him. I think he's going to take over as the leader in the middle there over Danny Trevathan. I think he's going to be a guy who, if he plays to his potential with the people around him, absolutely could be first team All Pro. And does not even come across as a hot take to me. I think that he is really on that developmental path, and it's not like he's going to have to do all the work. He's got a safety net with Eddie Jackson and HaHa Clinton-Dix behind him, and he's got the best defensive line in football in front of him. Yeah, really excited to see what happens with that.
Speaking of good players, we got like 3 players that have Defensive Player of the Year potential.
We really
That's
do.
Crazy. Possibly 4, but Akeem Hicks doesn't get as much love.
That position, I mean, unless he's Aaron Donald, and he's not. I love Akeem Hicks. I think he's the probably top 3 of his position.
You want to hear my hot take?
What?
I think Akeem Hicks is as good as Khalil Mack.
That's a hot take. I'm gonna disagree.
It's a hot take, and I think he's there. I think Akeem Hicks is as impactful in his position as Khalil Mack is in his. He can rush the passer.
As impactful is a different statement than as good. I agree that he is.
I think they're on the same talent level.
I think they both. Well, okay. I don't know, man. I think Khalil Mack, we didn't get the full version of last year. I think with him not having an offseason and getting hurt when he did, and the type of injury he had that was very obviously nagging him for the rest of the year, I don't think we got Khalil Mack at 100%. Because I think Khalil Mack at 100% is a Lawrence Taylor type first ballot Hall of Famer who is
that's a hot take.
Never seen again. That's the truth. I think he's on that level, and I'm excited to see, because here's the thing that's scary is if he wasn't the 100% I think he was. If I'm right, and he wasn't 100%, and we get him at 100% this year, on top of the development of the guys behind him,
boy.
But yeah, I mean, I think from a disruptive level, Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks are right there next to each other. Absolutely.
I'm holding my hot take.
I'm cool with it. I mean, hey, I'm with it. I just I don't know.
Another one of those would be Eddie Jackson.
Yeah.
He probably could have been Defensive Player of the Year.
If it was 2007.
No, I mean last year if he didn't miss the 2 games, and I mean he would have had another defensive touchdown had Mack not went off sides.
Right. Yeah, I mean he'd have an argument. I think he'd be on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know if he's ever going to get Defensive Player of the Year as a safety.
That's what I meant by 2007 is I don't know if a safety's ever going to win it.
Right,
I think it was Troy Polamalu, the last one that won it.
Probably.
And I think their seasons were actually really similar, but I just don't. He'd have to have.
I think Defensive Player of the Year is Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack for the next couple of years.
They stay healthy.
Unless J.J. Watt comes back to be J.J. Watt again, which would be crazy. I mean, he still looks good. So.
Yeah.
But Eddie Jackson.
I think Joey Bosa or Myles Garrett might be in that conversation too.
I don't think so. I think Joey Bosa is not as good as advertised. I think he's good. I don't think he's top 5. I'm
really curious. I know this isn't Bears related, but Myles Garrett on that defensive line with Olivier Vernon and oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the other one. But they have a stacked defensive line. He's going to get less double teams. I don't know. Myles Garrett's a freak, dude. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if Joey Bosa is even top 5 right now. Maybe number 5.
Right.
Because I know you got. Well, I mean, where would you put him though? Because he's a defensive end. Because he's not a linebacker anymore.
No, I don't know. Anyway,
irrelevant. Anyways, Eddie Jackson is another player. I want to see him repeat some success from last year. I don't expect him to be as successful as last year every year. I think he can still get better, though. I mean, 6 interceptions. He probably could end the year with 7 or 8.
I think he can get better and not have as good of stats.
Yeah, that too.
Like, there's a regression to the mean naturally. The Bears aren't going to get 26 interceptions next year, more than likely. I mean, that's 5 times the NFL average. So
I'm going to show them this so that they can show you.
I would love to be wrong, but more than likely they're going to regress a little bit in the turnover department. So naturally, that would mean Eddie Jackson's numbers would probably take a dip with that as well. But
Yeah, I think how many defensive scores do you think he's going to have though?
I want him to keep his pace so he can break Ed Reed's record in like the 4th year of his career, because that'd be fucking nasty.
I mean, he's already on pace to break Ed Reed's record and shatter it at his current.
I would like to see another 2. I'd be good.
I
with
think
2.
he can get 2. I think he can at least get a pick 6,
maybe
possibly
like
2.
recovery.
There's a fumble recovery maybe, but like he's gotten 1 in each season so far. But
Right.
pick 6s, just 2 back-to-back. Had that one against the Cardinals that got called back. That dude was. He's got a nose for the ball.
And the thing that's crazy is like he gets a pick 6, 26 yards off the line of scrimmage. And you're like, it's not like he broke a screen. It's not like he picked 6 a screen or a slant route. The dude's getting the ball 30 yards off the line of scrimmage and making a punt return out of it. Really.
Well, that's what he did in Alabama too. So that's what's good. Like Dion used to return stuff so that when he got a pick, he knew how to weave in and out of stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite pick was probably the Kirk Cousins one, pick 6, because my favorite thing about that. So they had 2 opportunities the whole game to take the lead. First one was they scored, I think, or kicked a field goal or something. But that play where Eddie Jackson got the pick 6, that was their first opportunity to take the lead since the beginning of the game, and Kirk just threw a pick 6. Beautiful.
Feels great.
Feels great.
Much love.
Feels good. That's your 78th best player in the NFL. They named him today, number 78 out of 100. Kirk Cousins.
Kyle, well, it's a popularity contest because first team All Pro in NFL or interceptions leader in the NFL. Kyle Fuller got 95th. So
yeah, there's no way he's not
there's
better.
94 fucking players better than Kyle Fuller. Get the fuck out of here.
He's way better than Kirk Cousins is at his job.
Yeah. What's your number 3?
That was my number 3. It's your turn for number 3.
Yeah. So a little under the radar, but it's been talked about. The thing is, everything's been talked about. But instead of beating the horse with the kicker competition or Trubisky's progression, James Daniel and Cody Whitehair switch. It's not just the switch back to their natural position. Cody Whitehair was really struggling there for a while with the snaps. There was a few fumbles, but I don't know how many times I can remember, but there was a few at least of Mitch Trubisky like jumping and saving a fumble from happening. And I remember, especially in the playoff game, but through the year, just having a little bit of uneasiness, like, damn it, Cody, like, don't put this over his head, don't put this at his feet. This is the 4th quarter, and so I'm really excited to like hopefully get a center who's going to alleviate some of that anxiety, where it's just a little bit smoother with the snap. He played center, obviously, for a longer period of time. I don't think Cody Whitehair ever played center. He went from left guard to left tackle in college. And I think, again, like everyone talks about when it comes to the pundits, both of them playing at their natural position will be better for the line overall. But where the snap problems hopefully get better, I'm confident they will. I'm more nervous about James Daniels, reading the defense and making the line adjustments. He did it all through college. They drafted him in the 2nd round because they thought that he was a great value and that he was the best player on the board. He's obviously talented. I think he's smart enough and a good enough player to do it. But like anything, I'm a little nervous for anyone in their first year, being tasked with – sorry, I'm burping, Lord. Being tasked with making those adjustments at the line. I just want him and Trubisky getting on the same page as quickly as possible is kind of an underrated part of training camp, but it's a crucial part, for Thursday night against the Pack. Those two need to be on the same page.
Well, I think the original plan would have been for James Daniels to be the center, but Matt Nagy coming in, learning a new offense, he's already had a comfortability with Cody. I'm pretty sure they've said that that's why they didn't switch. And then
and that makes sense. Last year, it totally makes sense that they did it.
And then, like you said, like the pundits have said that they're at their natural positions. I think it's going to be good for Cody. He won't have to think about anything. They can just snap the ball and he can just get his hands on someone. Because once his hands are on someone, it's done.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to think about anything. He can use his athleticism. He's old country boy throwing hay.
Right.
Got that farmer boy strength.
Yeah. The only question I have with that, I was wanting to ask you, is so Cody Whitehair is like the obvious person to get an extension. Left guards make a lot more money than centers. So how do they negotiate that? You know what I mean? Because he's never played left guard in the NFL, but that's his position now.
I mean,
so how do they value that? You know,
if he's wise and if his agent's good, I would say, hey, I don't want to talk extension yet. Let me play this year. We can talk extension after the year. Because if he balls out as a left guard, then he can get left guard money. Right now, we don't know how he is a left guard. So if they get an extension done, they're like, well, we know you're a decent center, so we're going to pay you top center money. But if I'm him, I'm going, no, let me play so I can get more money.
Yeah. For the Bears, I hope that they can find a middle ground and just extend them this year. But from a player's perspective, I mean, I don't know if he comes across as a guy that wants to bet on himself like that. I feel like there's only two types of people in the NFL: the dudes who just want to secure that bag as quick as possible, and I don't blame them. I mean, I can't put myself in a player's shoes. I usually take the player side always, though. Get the bag as quick as possible, or they do the bet on themselves type thing. I don't know. Cody's so quiet on like social media and his interviews, and he doesn't really have a profile off the field that I can tell. So I don't have a good vibe on that. But I hope they do get an extension this year.
I think he's a good dude. He was at Eddie Jackson's softball game.
He was. It's a shame.
You know who wasn't there?
Showed up for that.
Mitchell Trubisky. Cancer.
He's big.
Cancer to the team.
Man. Yeah, right. Get him gone. He's QB1, bro. He was doing all the commercials for the fucking like workout chip.
No, he was at camp. The rookies and the quarterback showed up a couple days ago. That's
right. What was it? Well, no, that charity event was months ago, bro. They're supposed to be.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. Yeah, the charity event was months ago. But
months ago, got him.
What that workout chip that he's doing, whatever.
What is that?
He's been sponsored by this like protein snack that's like a potato chip. Every interview he's done, he's talked about it. So I was just making a joke. He's out there.
You got to bring it up every time. It's part of the deal.
Dude, he's feeling the pump off the fucking Lay's, bro. Anyway, man. All right, dude.
I can't wait for football.
I know. I'm glad we're back. Training camp tomorrow, so we'll see hopefully some goofy videos. Hopefully no one shows up in a Brinks truck, though I'm like super okay with Jalen Ramsey doing it. It's over the top.
I think it's too much. That's too much.
I mean, it's
I like
much.
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, I love Jalen. I just don't want that shit on my team, but I laughed on Twitter.
Well, that's what I saw someone on Reddit say it, because they asked Ryan Pace, well, why don't you think the team's going to decline? Or why do you think the team's going to be as good as it was last year? And he just said, what is it?
Like the culture?
Yeah, culture. That's the word he used. Culture. And I actually think it was on Twitter that someone said it. Because everyone's always like, oh, the Bears are going to be the new Jags. The Bears are going to be the next Jags. Instead of the Bears could be the next Rams. They followed a similar path as well. But everyone wants to be negative all the time. But they said the difference is the Bears' culture. Like Ryan Pace said, the Bears would not have someone roll up in a Brinks truck because of the culture they have. That's a me-first attitude, not a we-first attitude.
I do think Bojack's going to be like that if he don't get his money.
I don't think he will.
Eddie. I love Eddie.
I think he's going to get his money anyways, because I don't think the Bears are going to fuck around with it.
Hell no. No, Ryan Pace isn't that dumb. He knows that's the... But I think by the time Eddie Jackson's ready for an extension, he'll be the second best player on that defense.
I think he'll be the best. I love Khalil Mack.
You froze.
You know I froze?
You're back. Yeah.
I love Khalil Mack, but a playmaking safety is always going to be my favorite position.
Number one in your heart? Okay. I'm with it.
But, I mean, the safety can do what he can do because of Khalil Mack. So it's kind of like a 1A, 1B for me.
For sure. All right, man. Well, I'm glad we're back. This was really awesome. Training camp starts tomorrow. We're going to do another podcast here in a few days. First practice is Sunday. So we'll give it a few days of padded practices. Hopefully, this is when the ACL epidemic starts and every team, for the most part,
would you even say that?
Because I want to just get it out of the way now. We're just like...
Go.
I'm hoping we have nothing. Well, dude, I can
out
say
of my
it or not say
face.
it, but like this is every year. There's some dumbass coach that pushes these players at 100% when they're just getting back. And I'm hoping that our guy, it sounds like from the press conferences, they're going to approach this with a light feel. Shorter practices, later start times, more warm-ups. So I think Matt Nagy's the type of dude that's like a McVay that just handles it better and is not old school and is like, you haven't played football in 6 months, go out there and do all your cuts at full 100% speed. And then,
or he can be like a LaFleur and like tore my Achilles before my players could.
On that note, so I'm Ricky Stone. That is
your boy, Nate Flint.
And this was the Flint-Stone Football Podcast, and we will catch up with you guys here soon.